Hey! Happy Friday. It's Anastasia. I have my guitar today. I'm gonna start out with a song. I'm gonna pull up the lyrics over here. I just grabbed my guitar a few minutes ago. It's nice to be here, and it's nice to be holding the guitar. I'm gonna play a really mellow version of this song by Death Cab for Cutie. A little mellow noon song. I want to live where soul meets body, and let the sun wrap its arms around me and bathe my skin in water cool and cleansing, and feel what it's like to be new. 'Cause in my head there's a Greyhound station where I send my thoughts to far-off destinations, so they might have a chance of finding a place where they're far more suited than here. And I cannot guess what we'll discover when we turn the dirt with our palms cut like shovels. And I know our filthy hands can wash one another's, and not one speck will remain. I do believe it's true that there are roads left in both of our shoes. If the silence takes you, then I hope it takes me too. So brown eyes, I hold you near, 'cause you're the only song I want to hear. A melody softly soaring through my atmosphere, where soul meets body. Where soul meets body. Where soul meets body. Where soul meets body. I do believe it's true. There are roads left in both of our shoes. If the silence takes you, then I hope it takes me too. So brown eyes, I hold you near, 'cause you're the only song I want to hear. Melody softly soaring through my atmosphere. A 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 melody softly soaring through my atmosphere. So hello. I am hoping that my sound is working. If it is not, will somebody please kindly let me know? Because it would be a shame to talk for 20 minutes and then get off of this broadcast and discover that my sound wasn't even working. But these things can happen. And it's not the end of the world, but I'd love some feedback. So if you're listening and if you can hear me, just say hi or something in your chat, wherever you are. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, if you're on LinkedIn, just let me know you're here. Let me know you're listening and that you can hear me. Hope everyone's having a great Friday. Happy Mocktail Hour. I am doing this show today at noon. I know this is a bit unusual. Usually you see me around 4 or 4:30, but it is summer. My kids are home for the summer, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm just doing my best to find pockets of time when I can do this. Today that was noon. So here we are. It's Friday. Today I am drinking a simple glass of water. And because I've been running around, like really kind of like a little bit of a crazy person, except I don't think I'm crazy. I'm just busy. I'm a mom. Yes. So it's great to see you. Today I'm going to talk about addictive energy. Oh my goodness. It's such an interesting topic. I'm really excited to talk about this. And I talk about things using my own words. So if you go and type that into Google, I don't know what you're going to find because I just come up with this stuff through my own experience. And I mean, I've heard other people's experiences as well. And so I take it all in, and then this is what comes out. So I am just communicating with you from everything I've learned over 40 plus years of life and the many experiences I've had working with addictive energy, what I'm calling addictive energy. First of all, I do have a book that I am celebrating. Oh my goodness, what is it? I think it's the 2nd anniversary of this book, coming up on August 28th. I released this book back, like I said, like 2 years ago, just about. It's coming up. So I'm celebrating this. I'm going to be talking about it, bringing it back to the forefront because it's a great little book and I want to let people know it exists. It's a short book, easy read, and one of the chapters is on what we'll be talking about today, addictive energy. All right, so putting the book aside, and I am just coming at you with what I got here. All right, so first of all, addictive energy. What the heck am I talking about? What am I meaning when I put those two words together? Well, first of all, I think addictive energy is actually, it's actually energy. Like energy is energy, right? We're really all participating in this gigantic, Big Bang explosion of whatever happened so many years ago, and we're here, and somehow we're still, like, all of us are part of that. Not gonna get into science, not my field, but energy. Everything everything is energy. Energy flows, right? It's what gives us. It's what makes our heart beat. It's what makes us open our eyes in the morning, and it's something you can feel. You can feel it on more obvious ways, obvious levels. You can feel shifts of energy in your body in kind of pretty obvious ways sometimes, or you can feel it way more subtle, especially if you've spent time in meditation or prayer or any kind of deep spiritual practice. You will likely become pretty sensitive to energy. You can feel it in yourself. Sometimes you can feel it in others. And so when I say addictive energy, I'm talking about a part of your energy that's in your body that has become sort of cut off from the main flow. Like, so normally, like, our state of well-being is to flow. Things flow. If things flow, we're healthy and we're good, and things come in and out of our mind, and we're not perseverating and we're not obsessing, and things are flowing. And that is probably the optimal state. But we live in this crazy world. We are humans exploring this adventure of life together. And so most of us are not monks in a cave meditating or monks at a monastery praying and meditating. Most of us have normal day-to-day lives. We have jobs, we have friends, we have family. And so I'm going to bring up the spectrum. I love the idea of a spectrum. I know I talked about a spectrum when it came to, like, is this a habit? Is this an addiction? Today, I'm talking about a spectrum of energy. Free at one end, stuck at the other. I think all of us, most of us, people living normal life are somewhere in the middle between free and stuck. And it's okay. I think it's a dance. I think it's a balance. And so when I'm talking about it, addictive energy, I'm talking about a part of energy that has cut off from the main flow and is stuck on something. It could be alcohol. It could be you have this special attachment to alcohol. Maybe it's your release button at the end of the day, and you look forward to it every day. And when you don't have it, you really miss it. And so there's a bit of an addiction there. We might not say you're like, just, there's spectrum. There's different levels of that, right? But that's some level of addiction. There's some level of attachment. So some of your energy is there. Some of your energy is wrapped up in your idea of wine and the way it makes you feel and your attachment to that. But it can be many things. And I'm going to talk about that. But I want to point out that in various philosophies and religions, basically wisdom traditions the world over, a house divided against itself will fall. In the Bible, I think it says you can't serve God and money. I think these things, though there are nuances, I think they're referring to the same thing. Even in transpersonal psychology, if you read Jung, fragmentation leads to disordered life. It leads to what they call in psychology, I can't think of the word, but what's the word? It's problems. Basically, you get, what is the word? Oh, well, I cannot remember, but it's when you're fragmented inside, when you're fragmented in your mind, things aren't whole, and there's a tension, and there's can sometimes be an inner war, an inner conflict. And so, for example, if you have an addictive energy that's attached to wine or booze or alcohol in some form, there might be a little war going on inside of you. Part of you is a like a really healthy person. Maybe you're doing exercise every day and you're eating really healthy, but you also really love to drink wine or alcohol, and maybe sometimes you overdo it, and maybe there's an attachment there. So I'm just saying, usually there's multiple, like the energy, right? It can be pulled out in multiple directions, and it can get tangled up inside. I know this is kind of like maybe hard to visualize a little bit, but just stick with me. So you will get to know what this energy feels like in your own body, in your own mind, more and more once you start to work with it. And I called the topic of this talk working with addictive energy, because I believe that when we try to fight against something, when we take the aggressive approach to something, I believe it can actually strengthen that other thing. And you can see this in martial arts. Often, even in movies my kids watch, I see them using the same principle, that you use the force of the opponent against you, right? Or against them. You take the energy of what's there and you use it for something that you want, something positive, something life-giving, something moving you forward. And so I believe that we should work with our energy. I don't believe that we need to demonize it. I don't believe that we need to be scared of it. And I believe that it's been given to us by God, or whoever you believe in, or whatever you believe in. It's a gift, and we have a lovely responsibility as humans to make the use of it, make the best use of it, and see, and part of maybe this experiment of life is to see what we do with it. What are we going to do with this energy, right? And so when you give up something like alcohol, you're going to get to know that feeling of that energy very well, because maybe 5 o'clock rolls around and you feel the urge to go into that behavior, go and open that bottle of wine, and you're going to feel that. It's almost, to me, I've been sewing a lot, but I almost imagine it like an elastic, just like stretching between you and that thing that you want. And so there's this attachment, there's something stuck there, right? And to, like I said, different levels. It might work for you. It might not be destroying your life in any way, shape, or form. It might not be making you feel sick the next 3 days, like it was for me toward the end of my drinking life. For me, I just noticed how bad it was for me. I noticed how bad it made me feel, and I also really noticed that the cycle, and I noticed my attachment, and I really got curious about that, and I really wanted to be above that. I didn't want that to be my master anymore. I felt like I was getting signals and signs and sort of like intuition that was just like, hey, what would happen if you stop? What would happen if you let go of this? What would happen if you mastered this in some way? Not to say it's not an everyday journey, for some people it really is a day-to-day, every day kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, everything is an everyday thing. So when like I was saying, so once you decide to give something up, whether it's alcohol or something else, you will notice what it feels like. You'll notice what that addictive energy feels like. And it probably isn't going to feel great at first. At first, it feels weird to give something up that you're used to. And it's a habit, and it's brought you comfort. It's brought you something. But once you stay away from that thing for a while, you're going to notice an influx of energy inside of you. At least this was my experience. And I've heard others say the same thing in different ways. But for me, I got an influx of energy. It was almost like that energy that was tied up with that addiction to alcohol was free. It was freed up. And all of a sudden I had this excess of energy in my bank, like my energetic bank. And so I ended up exploring different things. I had more energy to be present with my family. I had more energy to cook more creative meals when I felt inclined in that way. I've had more energy to explore different hobbies. For example, like right now, sewing. Like I am using that energy that I use for sewing is not that different from what I used to drink. It's not that it's the same. It's coming from me. It's something in me that is enjoying something that we have here on this earth. But the difference between sewing and drinking is pretty big. The thing that's dangerous about drinking, obviously, is it's not healthy. All the studies coming out, the serious scientific studies, more and more, they point to actually they say that no amount of alcohol is safe. Now, it doesn't mean I'm not like, whatever, you're your own person, you know yourself the best. But for me personally, I noticed it was not making me feel good. Like even in the same, like, no, I'm not even talking about hangover. I noticed, like, I started noticing, like, I was like, this is like really just not good for me personally. And so maybe to do with the number of years that had been behind me and things like that, I became more sensitive to it. But I was still attached to it. So there was still energy I had to work with and a commitment I had to make. And, no matter what it is, you do have to commit to it, to at least giving it a try. Even if you're trying 30 days to start with, there is that commitment. And so when you give something up, that energy is going to want to go somewhere else. Like you hear about sometimes, like, people end up giving up alcohol and they become like really, really, really hardcore Christians, or I don't know. Maybe that's a bad example, but I've heard of that. But it could be other things. But anyway, I don't think hobbies are bad. Hobbies are not bad. What is really interesting, and when it gets really, really, it's a really great growing experience, really, is to watch that energy, watch how it moves through you, and watch how you end up using it for other things. Like when I'm sewing and when I'm thinking about sewing, I'm also watching myself. And there's a part in this book also where I talk about that, being the observer, watching yourself. And I watch the way my mind works, and I watch the way my desire works and how it feels to desire something. And once you start really being aware of that as movements within you, you are going to be able to know when you're going too far. I'm not saying with alcohol. I think that's a different subject. I know I can't drink it anymore because I know when I'm going too far, and I don't care when I drink. Anyway, and my level of going too far was different than somebody else's. I was drinking I was drinking wine. I wasn't like drinking hardcore like liquor and going crazy, but enough that I would not feel good for like 3 days. And regardless of how many times I tried to be like, I can moderate, I'm just going to moderate. Just doesn't work for me. So what I'm trying to say is, you can be productive with this energy. Don't fight the energy. Channel it. Use it for other things. Use it for good. Pour it into activities that align with your goals and support your growth. And it's okay to have hobbies. Like I said, you'll notice if you're going too far, and people around you will let you know. So practice pulling back. Practice enjoying your hobbies, enjoying these things that light you up and that you can channel this energy into. Practice enjoying them and practice pulling back. Practice taking breaks. Practice your non-attachment. It's such a powerful practice. You're going to be growing. You're growing on so many levels when you do this. And so yeah, I just want to encourage you today, whatever it is that you are dealing with and whatever you feel like might have some power over your life and is draining you in some way, I just encourage you to really take a look at it, get honest with yourself, get real with yourself, maybe journal a bit, see where you're at with that addiction, see where you're at with that activity, and give yourself the space to imagine what your life would be like without it. Give yourself the opportunity to create new possibilities for yourself today. Yeah. So I hope that's been helpful. I hope you've enjoyed my short talk today. And I would like to give a special shout out and say hi to Nessa V and Georgia. Thank you for commenting and tuning in over here. It's always great to see people tuning into this, whether now or later. And so to those of you that are tuning in later on today, hello, thank you for listening. And I hope you guys have the most wonderful weekend. Again, today I've been talking about addictive energy. Like I said, don't Google it, or do Google it. You can if you want, but you're not going to find what I'm talking about because I'm sort of coming up with the stuff. Based on my experience and based on a lot of different reading, I just put my own words on things. Yeah. Oh, and one thing I wanted to say is I think someone with an addictive personality, because you do hear that phrase often, addictive personality, I think they have an energetic tendency. So they have that tendency for that energy to go and get stuck on something. So that is also one way you can sort of think about these ideas and synthesize them in a way that makes sense for you. So again, I'm getting ready to celebrate this anniversary here. I just want to let you guys know I still have this available on Amazon. I don't think it's expensive. I think it's on there for like $7 or something. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I know you can read it on Kindle for like 0 cents, 0.00 cents. So you could grab it, download it if you like. And it's just a 30-day walkthrough of taking a break from alcohol, seeing what you find about yourself, seeing how you feel, and really discovering maybe a new kind of life for yourself, maybe some new possibilities, maybe some new ways of using that energy that is going to drinking. Yeah. So take care. Thanks for tuning in. And if you'd like to talk about this more on a personal level, feel free to reach out. Bye.